epic shift on the way. Make sure y'all hit the like, comment, share, and then subscribe and thrive on the channel, baby. Epic shifts coming. A lot of changes coming. Y'all know what time it is. And listen, when we talk about epic shifts coming, we talking about positive ones. We don't do none of the fear mongering over here. I'm sorry to tell you. I know you've been on you. Look, it's not like what you heard. Go on YouTube and they be procrastinating and all of that. We don't do that over here. But one thing I can tell you is that we got a lot of shifts coming. So let's get into it. We got Saturn going into Pisces. We got Uranus is still in Taurus. All right. Uranus is going to be in Taurus for about a couple more years. All right. So we gotta, even in that aspect, some say that Uranus is in detriment in Taurus. Right. So y'all think about it. The planet Uranus deals with electricity. It deals with shock. It deals with innovation. Right. It deals with the unexpected. When we're dealing with Taurus now, we're dealing with the practicalities. We're dealing with the stable approach, right? The stability before we even get practical, right? When we immediately get firm, right? This is Taurus. After we initially approach things, this is how we begin to figure things out. This is the step before the mind begins to begin working and at times begin speaking. This is why Taurus also deals with the throat. So when you put Uranus in this aspect, Uranus is like, what am I doing here? And Taurus is like, what are you doing here? I'm trying to be stable and calm, and you trying to turn up. You spin on your side, on your axis. Like, what are you doing here? This is the stable part of the universe, Uranus. So Uranus is like, all right. And every now and then, Uranus gets his lick back, but they gotta meet each other halfway. Now we also have that beautiful north and south node shift coming up. So this is gonna be something that I think is gonna take place in maybe about 30, 35 weeks from now, around there. No, about 27 weeks from now. In that department, we gonna have a strong shift, all right, between the north and south node shifting. Remember, the north and south node move in retrograde, so the north node Rahu is shifting into Aries, and the south node Ketu, the beautiful south node, is shifting into Libra. So now with this, we're going to see a lot of action, because this is also what Aries is. A lot of action, but this is also going to come from, like, our territory, the initiative, the lands that we're on. So things like family, right? Government, things that are, in a sense, protective, right? We're going to see a lot of protective, defensive initiatives being approached. So this could deal with you. How do you initiate protecting yourself? And when I say protecting, I mean protecting in like a way that of course is positive, but it's more so like in a way where your property, your assets, protecting your possessions, not letting unexpected faculties kind of get in the way of your stability factor. And an aspect of this can come from reaching a level of viable understanding, like with family, right? With even your own emotions, with things that are in your immediate space. you having a understanding of these things and being able to positively express them with others. Now, yeah, like we did 4 amazing videos today. Like this is just legendary, but this is what we do. Like true to this, um, we got a full moon in Virgo going on today. So this is the last full moon in Virgo before Saturn goes into Pisces. So Saturn is in the last stages of Aquarius. Pluto is in the last stages of Aquarius. Like I know y'all see the vibe and what was going on, but this is why we gonna have a lot of responsibility that's gonna come from the things that we've been yo, if you've been quiet about anything or just keeping certain things to yourself, those conversations are going to be had. So that's why, like y'all gotta understand that this time is really, really gonna challenge your sense of realism, man. I'm telling you, y'all, being 100 with yourself, you want to prepare for that. And that's what Virgo deals with. It deals with preparation, right? Because people gonna be very the people that are smart, you gonna find them keeping it a buck with you, being extra critical at maybe even, and you gotta respect it. But this is really coming from a place of growth. This is coming from just for you to understand the basic components of things. But this coincides with the transit because Saturn is opposing that beautiful sign of Virgo as it goes into Pisces. So remember, this begins these moon oppositions with Saturn in Virgo and Pisces. So every now and then there's gonna be like a reminder where we gotta be emotionally responsible with the environment and the world around us. And like I'm telling y'all, like y'all gonna see it. And like this is the thing. When we dealing with the moon is also private as well. The moon is about privacy. The moon is about not, you don't need to express everything when it comes to the moon. And when I say express, I mean like verbalizing it. Because the moon does govern an aspect of the mind, ultimately the emotions, but at the same time, like the moon is not just that. The moon also deals with the liquids and our emotions that's flowing. Chaley, what's going on? Shout out to Chaley. Yeah, but that's what the moon deals with. So the moon, it does deal with our emotions, but it can also deal with an aspect of our mind as well. And we explained that in one of our previous videos. But yeah, that's what we're dealing with when we're dealing with this full moon in Virgo. So we're gonna begin to notice these ingresses going to challenge us to just be realistic and responsible with other people. Not really playing no games, being disciplined with people that we see and we speak to on a day-to-day, right? So we're gonna see some beautiful things that's gonna coincide with the workforce, right? The ideologies even of the workforce, things like basic pay. How are the authorities dealing with the workforce? Even unions, certain unions may get called to action, right? Like, so this transit, it also highlights our everyday working values just as much as our private um social concerns. So like even with this, right, it's also a strong challenge to understand the relatability factors with other people. Because what we gotta understand with these transits is like emotional management, right? The things that you're aware of that you may not necessarily need to communicate to the world, how are you responsible with dealing with these things? right? So like with this is why earlier we were speaking about defensive, the private mechanics around things, being responsible with them, being responsible even in the social atmosphere, because we're going to see a lot go on in the social atmosphere. I could definitely guarantee you that. And when we talking about the social atmosphere, we talking about things like technology, being responsible with how you deal with technology. And remember, y'all, we went over this for a reason. But what we gotta know is that with this last full moon of the year in Virgo, because y'all think about it, after this, we're gonna have a new moon, right? We're gonna have a beautiful new moon in Aries. So like with this is the last full moon before the real new year starts. So now when we dealing with this, right? This is like that preparation, the things that you know you need to emotionally arrange and get them in order, the finite details of things, finite emotional details, even when it comes to speaking like with the maternal figures, whether it be your beautiful mom, beautiful woman around you. Excuse me. This is a time when you want to be practical with how you approaching that feminine energy. And even the ladies out there, this is a great time for you to just keep it a buck. Be realistic with how y'all expressing yourselves. And also, and y'all, this is something that's in, like, this is important what I'm about to say. Don't forget, y'all, Jupiter is in Aries, right? So we gonna see some, not which Jupiter is a very fast planet, but Jupiter is, it's expansive, right? So Jupiter is always busy. And if you watching every aspect when things are expanding, you could kind of, that'll take up too much time. So this could cause us to be very prompt and direct and assertive with our actions, and we may not necessarily see all of the expansion that we're doing. So with this transit, it's a great one to measure your progress. I'm telling y'all, like, being realistic, man, being realistic with that approach. And some people may feel the need to be very bold with how they're approaching the world. You know, like if you a Pisces, if you like a Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, those signs, you may notice that they might be feeling like a lot more bold and direct and assertive with certain things. But definitely um measure, measuring things out. Don't think for a second that the great work that you've been putting in is not doing anything. You're the byproduct of your actions. You are seeing expansion somewhere, but you may not be aware of it. You just might not be. And that doesn't mean that what you're doing isn't working, right? So this is why this is great to be practical, right? Measuring your growth. But it's kind of hard to do that when you know that being bold is a byproduct of advancement. You get what I'm saying? So, y'all, like, there's a lot of ways to work with these vibes, but I'm gonna keep it a beam with y'all. Like, it's so much, like, after this, right? So remember, let me do a recap. We got Pluto going into Aquarius, right? We got Saturn going into Pisces. Jupiter hanging out in Aries for a little bit more. Venus is in Aries, right? And then y'all see we also got these undertones of this Aries energy coming in, right? I think we even got Mercury in Aries as well. So this could bring immediate, direct understanding to a lot of things, right? If you even look at relationships and your engagement with others, this could bring some super duper, super duper straightforward understandings of your environment and your relationships. We mentioned earlier your diet, your health, the things that you know you need to know. This is going to bring that in your emotional space and in your memory. So the things that you know you've been emotionally sensitive about learning, the information that you've been emotionally sensitive about acquiring, you got the vibe to go straight forward and direct, and you stick with it. You can make, as a collective, y'all, we could all do this right now. We could take direct enormous strides towards advancing in a particular aspects. So, it's like being enthusiastic, being positively, greatly enthusiastic, because timing your enthusiasm in a way, right? This is a great way to converge passion productively. Passion sometimes could get lost in passion, but when you understand the mechanics around why you passionate about something, right? It's like if you want to learn something, make an advancement in something. Well, what's gonna drive you? What's gonna drive you? And then at some point, you have to take that spontaneous leap, right? And that can be very electrifying indeed, but it's properly placing that passion for the right advancement, right? This is when we dealing with this Aries vibe and how that's aspecting that full moon. Telling y'all, man, these next couple days, y'all vibe out with that vibe, right? And as this is our last, yeah, this full moon is strong, right? We had Saturn going to Aquarius December 20th of 2020. Remember, y'all, the Saturn and Jupiter conjunction that everybody was going crazy about, but coincidentally, they don't talk about it anymore. Remember that? Saturn is leaving Aquarius now, going into Pisces. Jupiter been out, right? Jupiter been through the deuces up to Saturn. And y'all know that Jupiter been left that part of the sky, right? So we had Jupiter in one of its home signs, and then we had Saturn in one of its home sign. But now I apologize for that saying. That's one of my alarms. Now we have Saturn in its home sign, right? But now Saturn is leaving, going to where Jupiter left before, right? So a lot of the things that we was taking our time with, we gonna notice that we're gonna. I want to make this sound as appropriate as possible, but we just want to make sure that we have been responsible, right? Because you was doing a lot of expansion and imagining, right? Think about the last couple years with what we experienced, right? Like what happened with that time? What was being created, right? In private within, because remember, y'all, when we dealing with Pisces, we dealing with what's not there, right? When you were just dolo in your private sphere, what was the byproducts of that, right? So a lot of the things that we may have noticed these past 3 years, we gonna see some, we gonna be called to the responsible aspect of those things. All right. So how you been handling your time in isolation, right? How you been when you've been going into the unknown, what is the byproduct of that? We could see a lot of soul searching, being responsible with these things, and you gonna notice that this could also lead to a vibe of some religious aspects. And we mentioned this earlier. Don't be surprised if things like religion really come to the fray. Don't be surprised, right? And when we talking about like religion, y'all know we not talking about it in like no hardcore sense, but it's just like serious understanding, getting things that are spacey and bazooky and wonky to a private, finite level of communication and understanding. I'm not saying make it comprehensible for a 3-year old, but being able to effectively communicate some of the I don't want to even say higher concepts, but like the things that we just don't see, that's not practical to everyone else. Well, where's the practicality and the factualities in that, right? And this is why it's important for us to be 100% realistic about our beliefs, right? And we going to see a lot of people get called forward for that. You get me? So, y'all make sure that things that you've been doing for these past 3.5, right? Because that's about when Saturn went into Aquarius, maybe about three and a half, or 3.3 years ago, you know? So Saturn is right on time with its ingress out of Aquarius. But as now what we building on is that Jupiter left. Jupiter is out of there, right? So don't think that these planets still ain't sharing a relationship. And y'all know we mentioned that in Astrostetics, right? Just because the planets they had a conjunct and one of them left, y'all think they not homies still? Y'all think they not homies still? No. No, Saturn and Jupiter, they still big vibing and thriving. It may not be as close as it was when everybody was talking about it, but best believe that they still got some type of synergy going. You get what I'm saying, y'all? Alright? So that's y'all, there's just big changes coming. Ensure that you being responsible with your time. Responsible with what you're doing in isolation and privacy. All right. How have you been applying that? How have you been conducing that, right? Calls of faith, people trying to see how they can get unity around things. You might see people you ain't even think they cared, but they do, right? People having moments of serenity and being real and true with you. Because that's another thing that you can get out of this. People being very real with you, very like authentic, right? And it's like people got to be 100% responsible with this because, like, there's a way you can go about keeping it real with others. You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't gotta like take a bookie on people. Like you don't gotta take a poopty scoop on them. You know what I'm saying? But it's like how do you be critical with others? You know what I'm saying? Like when you notice something and you've been peeping it, and you've make a observation, how do you go about communicating it in an effective way, right? One that's great and harmonious for the relationship, and in a one where the message gets through. You get what I'm saying? It's like all of these shifts going on, y'all. Like, please, y'all, pay attention to them essentially like in your relationships, because like that's sometimes where they can manifest the most. And I'm not necessarily talking about like relationships like with your always with your loved one or your spouse, but like with even how you relate to the world. You get what I'm saying? Like having like a finite understanding in like what you giving your time to, what elements of perception are you solidifying time with? What are you like manifesting with these things? You get what I'm saying? And then remember, y'all, we spoke about that north and south node alternation. The north and south node have been in Scorpio and Taurus, right? But now they're going to maneuver, right? They're going to maneuver into Aries and Libra. So this is going to bring some dope shifts that we going to see once again in relationships, right? We going to see these shifts in how we approach things, how we directly assert our awareness to things. You get what I'm saying, y'all? So y'all be very Ayo Chaley said, when is that happening? In about I'm gonna say like maybe 4 to 7 weeks from now. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm gonna do a video on that next for y'all as well. Alright? But yo, everybody, I hope y'all enjoyed this one. And y'all make sure y'all check out the website, theeasycomplex.com. All right. I got something great on there. I put on there for y'all. Make sure y'all DM me after this, and I'll send y'all a nice coupon code. All right. Y'all gonna love it. All right. Chaley said that will. Oh yeah. Yup. Yup. You gonna see some. We gonna see some great. Yeah, it's a bunch of shifts going on, right? Jupiter gonna go into Taurus, Saturn going into Pisces, Pluto going into Aquarius. You get what I'm saying? Like the north and south nodes switching it up. Like what? And y'all know Mars going into Cancer soon. What? Like y'all, it's a great time. All right, it's a great time for real. All right, so y'all, peace, love, and happiness to y'all. Oh yeah, oh yeah, it's crazy. It's a beautiful time. But everybody enjoy and y'all stay positive. All right.